Well, FedEx is suing the Commerce Department because of the Trump administration's export policy, which affects companies like Chinese tech firm Huawei. But does FedEx's lawsuit have a future? It is controversial, and many are talking about this lawsuit. Joining us to discuss is Yahoo Finance's Alexis Keenan. Hi, Alexis.
Hi.
Well, let's talk about the lawsuit. We did talk about FedEx's earnings earlier in the show, and because of everything like in the water with FedEx, I think there were some low expectations for the earnings report, but then FedEx beat on earnings. But tell us about the lawsuit and what are the likely outcomes here?
Yeah, so they're suing the U.S. government, the Commerce Department particularly, and they're saying that they want basically to be exempted from the export rules as they stand. They don't want it enforced against them. They say that they might potentially ship an item that is, flies in the face of this law that says U.S. items cannot be shipped to China and elsewhere. Look, there's a lot of countries, there are a lot of entities on this list. The list is 60 plus countries strong, thousands of entities listed there, not just Huawei, not just Chinese companies. But they say this law broadly, as it applies to common carriers, is problematic for them because they say, look, we don't want to be tasked with looking inside these packages. But here's the thing. That issue only arises when the package is shipped from an international location, so a boundary outside of the United States, to an entity on the entity list. It does not apply, meaning FedEx does not have to look inside packages that originate in U.S. territories because they can't send them anyway, right? So it's a stop right there. They don't have to worry about it. All they have to do is screen to see, is it on the entity list? If it is, it's not going anywhere. So they're talking about the packages that originate elsewhere, right? They're international shipments, and that's the part where they've had trouble, in terms of their operational income and revenues there. That's the concern point for their CEO. Actually, this is not certain how many packages this applies to. I've asked FedEx. I have not heard back from them. They say they ship about 15 million packages a day. We have no idea how many actually give rise to this particular issue.
And to be clear, FedEx doesn't want to be opening packages anyway.
No.
At least in the U.S.
They definitely shouldn't
be opening packages and looking at the contents.
They don't want to do that. They likely won't be tasked with doing that. But look, this lawsuit itself, legal experts who practice in this area, they say that FedEx is largely going to be looked at as a really important part of the chain of regulating national security, that laws based on national security there's going to be a lot of deference given to the government here.
And my understanding is UPS has not aligned with FedEx and is very much staying in its own territory. And have we heard anything from Amazon about their compliance or their agreement to do so?
I don't know how they feel about this particular lawsuit, but we certainly can ask.
All right, thanks, Alexis.
Yep.
Good stuff.